Alrighty, babies, what's up? What's cracking? Good morning. Today is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. This is episode 881 or 882. Need a fact check on that of Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat brief podcast. I'm your host, as always, Dr. Gerald Auger, coming at ya. Oh my God, I'm feeling silly today. Good morning, guys. Over the next hour, me, you, Augusta Delgado, Haircut Fish, Valentino, Jason Reed, Carrie, Bonnie Charles, as always, with the coffees, Mara Levy, Elliot Matisse, and Phil Stafford on the West Coast. Guys, we are all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be doing everything within my power to distill the essence of value from these stories and deliver some type of educational opportunity for you to level yourself up as a practitioner and be able to drive cyber risk reduction down for your business stakeholders. It is a double threat, and I'm absolutely pumped about it. We are consistent, like I said, 880 plus days in a row, delivering on this mission. Mental Edge, what's up? Coffee cup cheers to all y'all. Guys, we are got a banger of a day for you. Now, if you're thinking, wait a minute, I'm not a practitioner yet. How do I deliver cyber risk reduction for my business stakeholders? Well, my friend, if you're looking to break into the industry, this is also what the kids call banger value. Mad aura coming out of this pod. Sigma. Listen, you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? It is vitally important to stay up to date on current events and understand the impact of those events, both at a tactical level. So, Luma Stealer runs a PHP reverse shell, and then second stage payload runs a bat file filelessly in memory. Well, you know what? You might not get that from just reading the headline. You got to go a little bit deeper. Shout out to Casually Joseph, the Neo at Unit 42, bringing all sorts of hot takes to the group chat. So say what's up, guys. Stay here. Believe me when I tell you, you will get value. And also, for those people who float away from the daily cyber threat brief and then float back in, we keep it consistent, yo. So if you do have to take a break, you took a job that conflicts, you're listening on replay, a life event occurred, and you just had to get heads down on something else, when you come back, we will be here and we will be delivering on this. That's my promise to you. Let's get going. I want you all to know that I don't research or prep for any of the stories
Ain't nobody got time for that.
that we're going to be covering, because honestly, I find it disingenuous to do that. Also, I don't have time for that. I get in here, same as everybody else, guys. Listen, here's the reality. I do this as part of my normal workflow. It's just at some point a few years ago, I turned a camera on and started doing it en masse. So keeping consistent with my workflows and staying true to myself. I don't research and prep. I go through the stories and I figure out, what does it mean to me? How can I use this information? So that's what's up. I'm really, really excited. It is Wednesday. Every day of the week has a special segment, and Wednesdays is Worldwide Wednesday. So we'll be going around the horn just in a few minutes with some Daft Punk. Super excited. Just as a production note for everybody, I feel like Space Tacos was the one who originally championed this, but I got a new intro for the show. I'm just waiting for some final edits on that, but new intro for the show coming soon. We're also going to get licenses for the music, both Daft Punk, the true Around the World, and then a variant of Don't You Forget About Me. So we're going to get all above board pretty soon here. So it's all about good times. Cyber Risk Witch is in the house. Let's give her a wow. All right, guys, really quick, I do want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors who enable me to bring this show to you. The stream sponsors who enable me to grind this cup of coffee and get out here into the Buffer Auger Flow studio and bring hot takes galore to all of you, starting with my good friend, all of you know Eric Taylor over at Barricade Cyber Solutions. Show note, he will not be here for jaw jacking tomorrow. He's got some stuff going on. Sean Washington, what's up, dude? Saw your post on social media. Hot, hot, hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Yo, is your Microsoft 365 environment secure? With business email compromise attacks on the rise, your entire operation could be at risk. Fortify 365 from Barricade Cyber Solutions is your defensive shield. Their team of experts implements proven security standards to protect your business from cyber threats, ensure compliance, and safeguard your sensitive data. They've helped countless organizations. Dude. They've helped countless organizations protect themselves from, cyber threats, right? Just basically harden their environments, including businesses that I've worked for. I've hired them in to tighten up and configure the M365 environment. Dude, Azure M365, it's not your data center in the cloud. It's literally a different paradigm. So make sure you get it sorted out. They will tailor their solutions to protect you from the threats that are most likely to slap you in the face. Don't wait until after a breach takes action, please. Visit fortify365.com today and see how they can help you secure your environment. The link is in the description below. As always, guys, Antisyphon training. What is there not to say about Antisyphon training? Black Hills Information Security's training arm. They offer unbelievable diversity of courses and classes and enable practitioners to get cutting-edge education from industry pros at a fraction of the cost that some organizations charge you. I personally can attest. I run Simply Cyber Academy, and I am inspired by Antisyphon training and the way I run it. I want to let you know that today, Antisyphon training is presenting the Anticast. So this is today at noon. Fleetus Poston III, our very own Simply Cyber community member, Fleetus, is going to be talking about the human factor in AI-driven cyber. Come on down. At 11:30, they'll go live with pre-show banter. I am on the panel. If you're interested in whatever I have to say, I'll be there. Wade Wells will be there. Obviously, some of the regulars will be there. Come check it out. Antisyphon training, not just not just a business selling cyber education, but a community and a business doing good in the world. Shout out to Antisyphon training. The links for this particular webinar is not in the show notes. It just goes to Antisyphon training. So go check out their stuff. But if you want to see this talk today, this is what you got to do. It's going to be all about good times. Finally, I want to say shout out to Delete Me. Let me put the lower third. Contractually, I'm required to put this lower third here. Come on now. Here we go. Yo, Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online. At a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone, including you, Roberto Zavala, Marcus Kyler, vulnerable. It's easier than ever to find personal information about people online. Data brokers, they're all over the place. Having your address, phone number, family members' names hanging out on the internet can have real consequences in the real world that make everyone vulnerable. As someone with an active online presence, a social media channel, YouTube channel, it's privacy is very important to me. I want to choose who has access to my data. I don't want to be basically victimized of data brokers pawning and selling and sharing and making accessible my home address, my personal phone number. My kids live at my house. My wife lives at my house. So I'm concerned about protecting them as well. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me Now at a special discount for listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Code simplycyber. Thank you, Delete Me. Thank you, all of you. We also have the Threat Locker, but we'll do that in a few minutes, guys. Thank you, Simply Cyber community members, for listening to the ad reads and helping me take care of the business side of everything, guys. Woo! If today is your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. If today's your first episode, we got a banger for you. Now, every single day of the week, you might be, if today's your first episode, you're like, where's the news? I was told there'd be news. We will get to the news. We will talk about the Justice Department investigating Coinbase data breaches. We will talk about the Dutch government passing laws to criminalize cyber espionage. But we are Community Team SC. And if you're here for the first time, guess what? Spoiler alert, you're part of the community now as well, or at least you got your toe in the pool. And on Wednesdays, we like to just see how wild, how diverse, how international this community is by doing a little activity called Worldwide Wednesday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this music up. I'm going to ask you where you are, and then I'm going to use Marcus Kyler's interactive world map to light it up. And we're going to see if we can go every major continent live right now. So this isn't like over the course of a week. This is 2 minutes. Where are you at? Let's see if we can light this son of a bee up. I'm ready. Hold on. Let me do this. Little DJ B-Sec around the world. Get some of that DJ vibes. Let me set the timer. And when I say go, let's go. 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Go. Where are you at? Space Tacos, New York City, bringing America online. Hotlanta, Ray Hunter. Portland, Sierra Montgomery getting up early. Texas is in the house. Thanks, Kerry. Nashville, Tennessee. Love myself some Nashville. Palm Beach, Flo Rida. Good morning, Chi-Town in the house of Tim McDonald. What's up, Hampstead? I see you. Columbia, the upstate, represent. Rich464 bringing the Maple Leaf state, or the Maple Leaf country online. Sudan's in the house. Let's go ahead and get Sudan. I do not see. Oh, there it is. Boom. Sudan. Thank you very much. Africa's online. Romania, as always, bringing the heat. Hold on. Romania. Where's my Romania at? Dink. Love it. Australia. Funky Monk. Yes, sir. We always have a problem with Australia. We got that going on. India's in the house. Thank you very much, Ashiana. Boom. Ethiopia, Medin G, always bringing it on. Eastern Africa online. Alabama's in the house. Dirty Jersey's in the house. Lackland Air Force Base. What's up? Bahrain, bringing the Middle East online. I'm going to have to type that one in. Bahrain, Middle East online. Chi-Town, what up, Maryland? Raleigh, Czech Republic, Czechia. Yes, sir. Look at Europe coming online. Eastern Europe. Dublin, Ireland. What's up? I don't know what they say in Dublin, but good day. No, that's Australia. Poland's in the house. I love it. How do you say hello in Ireland? Like, what's a token hello? It's probably just hello. North Carolina, Amsterdam, the Netherlands online. I gotta tell you, I've been getting into Formula One racing. Max is from the Netherlands, the Dutch guy. He's pretty good. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Moda's Bella bringing Egypt online. Africa is leading the charge, y'all. H-Town's in the house. Houston, Montreal, Quebec. Germany, David Hoffman. What's up? Bringing on the powerhouse, financial powerhouse of Germany. Love it, love it, love it. I see Amsterdam. Ghana's in the house. Hello, Ghana. Ghana's over on the left side. Boom. No South America today, huh? Tanzania. All right, y'all. All right, let's just take a pulse really quickly. See if we saw anything I missed. We've got North America for sure. Europe for sure. I saw India. I don't know why it didn't light up. Asia's in the hizzy. Africa came correct. Glasgow, Scotland. We'll call it United Kingdom. India, Richmond, Virginia. Colombia, Andres Molina coming in at very dramatic fashion, dude. All right. Australia, thank you, Funky Monk. Guys, we did it. We did it. And that, my friends, is what it looks like to have an international, organic, caring community of like-minded professionals, regardless. Argentina's in the hizzy as well. Jesus, love it. This is what it looks like to have community and not be manufactured. This is organic. This is perspective. This is diversity in its truest essence. Dude, I friggin' love it. Thank you so very much, everybody. I hope you have a great show. Let's go ahead and get into it. We'll talk about Threat Locker at the mid-roll. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys. I'll see all of you, international folks, at the mid-roll. Also, really quickly, Cha Boy Louie, C-H-A, Cha Boy Louie, welcome to the party, pal. And squad members, if you can help me properly welcome Cha Boy Louie with the old John McClane spam. Let's get this person welcomed into the community. Let's go. Thank you, Marcus Kyler. Let's go.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. I'm Sarah Lane. U.S. DOJ opens investigation into Coinbase's recent cyber attack. The U.S. Department of Justice has launched a criminal investigation into a recent cyber attack targeting Coinbase, the world's largest crypto exchange. Coinbase clarified it is not under investigation, but is cooperating with the DOJ and other law enforcement agencies. The breach was disclosed on May 11th and compromised some customer data, names, addresses, and emails, but not login credentials, and is expected to cost the company between $180 and $400 million.
Oh my God, bro.
Dutch government.
All right. All right. Coinbase got impacted and data was breached, right? So a lot of PII type information. As they mentioned, no wallets were stolen, no passwords were stolen. So the actual thing that people would care about, the straight cash, homie. Straight cash, homie. And then the ability to access and log into these things. So, okay, that's good. From a cyber risk perspective, I hat tip Coinbase. Nicely done. Okay, you obviously did some type of data governance, some type of segmentation. Additionally, law enforcement is getting in there. Now, I do appreciate that they say we're not under investigation. That's definitely to mollify the concerns of customers that some type of shenanigans are going on. The crypto space is full of scumbags and criminals and fraudsters and hucksters. And I mean, it's basically the modern, like, go watch Wolf of Wall Street in boiler rooms and stuff like that. That's what's going on. So Coinbase has, basically built themselves up as the high integrity crypto trading platform. So if you look at these other ones like Binance and FTX, if those are even around anymore, I think FTX has been shuttered. I know the CZ at Binance got taken down, but I don't know if Binance went down. If you look at any of these other platforms, they're just mired in controversy and concern. And Coinbase has kind of been able to, spray Pam on themselves and have all that muck and stuff like wash off. So it's very important for them to maintain the integrity of their brand. Which, by the way, when we talk about, okay, so here's the deal. This is like a nothing burger story, okay? Coinbase is being not investigated, but, law enforcement's looking at them. They're a big player in the market. So law enforcement's getting involved, probably to help understand what happened. It is going to cost them $100 million to $400 million, so that's a lot. So here's the data mine thing, and we don't talk about this often. In the world of cybersecurity, or in the world of GRC, so squad members, feel free to spam your GRC love. Where is my GRC mafia? Okay. Listen, GRC is so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Listen, in the world of GRC, when we talk about what's the impact, okay, there's always likelihood and impact, right? That's like GRC 101. Well, GRC 201 is like defining those impacts. And a lot of times impact is financial. And it makes the most sense to like lean into financial because the business understands what money is and that's what they really care about, okay? But when you get a little bit more mature, right? When you're coming home from college your sophomore year, you could start talking about other things like reputational damage. Now, it used to be a much bigger deal, reputational damage, but in the long term, it's not as important, right? So if Target gets breached in 2014, its stock value goes down, but then it goes back up, right? This DEI boycott thing has had profoundly more impact on Target than the hack did in 2013, 2014. So in this instance, though, this one has real reputational harm considerations because it's a financial platform, as Justin Gold put out in chat here. If law enforcement discovers that this is related to an inside job, that could topple Coinbase. Think about it for a second. Whoever you bank with right now, Capital One, Chase, Truist, BBC, Navy Federal, whoever, Amherst, Northampton Co-op Credit Union, to throw back to my UMass days, wherever it is, dude. If the financial platform is rigged or there's corruption or whatever, you're gonna get the hell out of there as quickly as you can, right? So this is like real reputational damage. So I just want everyone to be aware of that dimension of risk when you're calculating it, and when to use it and when not to use it. If you just pull it out in a risk assessment and say, oh, this could result, like, let's say a healthcare organization, right? Let's say you're MUSC, where I used to work. Let's say you're the biggest healthcare provider in the state of South Carolina, and you have a data breach. Yes, you could report that patients might go to another healthcare provider because of reputational harm and damage. But let's be real. You're having friggin' symptoms of a heart attack. Are you really going to drive past the emergency room of the hospital that had a data breach last month to drive 40 minutes to another hospital? No. You're going to go directly to the one you want. So don't pull the reputational damage arrow out of your quiver and shoot that and think it's going to land on bullseye every time. Use it when it's appropriate, okay? Most times we're talking financial impact, but Coinbase, you're special, Coinbase. I hope it's not an inside job.
Government passes law to criminalize cyber espionage. The Dutch government has enacted a new law criminalizing digital espionage to safeguard national security and infrastructure.
Oh, shit. Shoot. Hold on. Misfire. I went to pause the video to say hi to Rose Ugorji, who said, good morning, Simply Cyber Family. Tried to say hi, and I accidentally jumped to the don't you forget about me.
Security and infrastructure. This legislation now allows prosecution for leaking sensitive, non-classified data and acting for foreign entities against Dutch interests, carrying penalties up to 12 years for severe offenses. The law addresses growing concerns about cyber espionage from nations like China and Russia, citing attempted infrastructure sabotage and infiltration of international organizations in the Netherlands.
All right. So we did Worldwide Wednesday a few minutes ago, and there was a Dutch person in here because I made the Max Verstappen reference. Look at you guys. The Dutch, not just known for tulips and windmills, they're bringing the heat now from a law enforcement perspective. Dude, I gotta tell you, the Dutch police have been going gangbusters on cyber criminal takedowns. Like, go look. I think it was friggin' breach forums. The Dutch police were involved, right? So, next time you hear past the Dutchy, you might be talking about something else. You know what I'm saying? So, dude, go good, right? Espionage is bad. Cybercrime is massively on the uptick. China specifically is very good at espionage. So we've seen countless numbers of incidents in the United States where, somebody who's in a position of access to sensitive information discloses it illegally for money, right? There's been straight cash, homie. Like, let me just give you a quick example. Allow me to introduce you to this idiot. West Virginia, nuclear engineer. I spelt it wrong, but that's okay. Wife, FBI, jail, espionage. Here we go. Look at this. You want to see what a donkey looks like? There we go. Mr. and Mrs. Donkey right here. This goober tried to sell secrets to Russia. It was really the FBI because his wife was on his butt that they didn't have a big enough house or a cool enough car or whatever. So they're both in jail right now. So the Dutch, I guess, didn't have laws around doing this, and now they do. The only thing I'll point out, like, this is good. This will increase the deterrence. That's what laws are supposed to do, and punishments, okay? There's two ways to get someone to do something. You either incentivize them by making it cool, right? So I'll give you an example. Antisyphon training, if you go to the Human Factor and AI-driven cybersecurity later today, you'll see that they have this thing called the Hack It. And the more times you join their stuff and hack it, Deb Wigley, who's in chat, will send you cool stuff. Or you get to pick, like, it's the way back in the day, Wheel of Fortune. Not Wheel of Fortune. Dude, there used to be a kids game show where like you would. I'll talk about it afterwards. But anyways, you get to pick it, right? So that's to incentivize you, or you can do deterrence, which means you punish people, right? If you do this, you lose technology. If you do this, you get thrown in jail. If you do this, there's a financial penalty, right? These are your two options. The Dutch are going hard on deterrence right now for cyber espionage. The one thing that I would point out that when I heard the story, my tiny brain went to immediately was like, it's very cut and dry. If I copy a file and then I put a trench coat on and I walk to somebody who isn't supposed to have it and I give it to them and they give me a briefcase of money, that's cut and dry. What happens in the instance when some junior engineer misconfigures something that results in the leaking of sensitive information to a foreign adversary in a data breach kind of situation? According to this law, that still counts. It wasn't deliberate, so maybe they don't get the 12 years or 20 years of whatever maximum sentencing. But the fact is that sensitive information was still compromised. And what if the person's like intentionally did it, but they made it look like an accident, right? So there's a lot of like gray area with this one, but we'll see where it goes. Way to go, Netherlands. Your red light district's looking pretty hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
And your cyber espionage laws are also looking pretty spicy.
Ransomware attack on food distributor spells more pain for UK supermarkets. UK food distributor Peter Green Chilled says it was hit by a ransomware attack on May 14th, disrupting operations and deliveries to major supermarkets.
It was Scattered Spider.
New orders were paused, potentially causing significant losses for smaller suppliers. Experts warn of increasing cyber threats targeting the UK retail supply chain's operational systems. South Asia.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know if it was Scattered Spider. Scattered Spider got attributed for these attacks on like Co-op and whatever M&S is, Markers and Sketchies or whatever, Marks and Spencer. Like 3 major retailers in the UK got hit. I'm telling you, there's a high probability this is the same attack threat actor. It is a ransomware attack, which is consistent with Scattered Spider. Dude, the one thing I'm thinking, and I said this before, I suspect this is a supply chain issue where all of these, Chris Rock prefers crypto than suitcases for espionage purposes. Good point, Chris Rock. I'm living in the 90s like an absolute dinosaur here. Got to get with the times. Got to get your crypto here. All right. If I had to guess, guys, I would think that there's some common software platform that these retail businesses used that was compromised and then resulted in a supply chain attack. There's too much evidence. There's too much historical evidence to support supply chain attacks as a real thing. And additionally, they're all these major attacks are happening in one geographical area within one industry vertical. It's too much of a coincidence for it to not be recognized as a potential indicator. So that's what I would think. Again, we saw a story that said Scattered Spider's moving on to the United States now, but whatever, impacts are impacts. So what I would say is I don't know 100% if this will be the case, but me personally, because I'm more risk averse and an absolute lunatic, I would probably go purchase non-perishables in bulk right now. So like toilet, I know this is like not a panicky thing, but like toilet paper, paper towels, spaghetti, canned beans. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but like, dude, I love applying lessons learned. And after having to buy black market toilet paper in a shut down mall parking lot at a very really dodgy interaction, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to buy my toilet paper in advance. Okay. So that's what's up with that. All the normal ransomware protocol best practices here, right? EDR, end user awareness training, network segmentation, firewalls.
Ministries hit by Sidewinder APT using old Office flaws and custom malware. The Sidewinder APT group has launched a targeted cyber espionage campaign against government institutions in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Using spear phishing emails and geofenced malware payloads, attackers exploited outdated Microsoft Office vulnerabilities to deliver the Steelware bot malware. This .NET-based tool captures sensitive data like keystrokes, passwords, and screenshots, with a high degree of precision and selectivity in targeting, reflecting Sidewinder's ongoing and methodical activity in the region.
I'm like trying to Google this game show right now. All right, South Asian Ministries hit by Sidewinder APT using old Office. So, God, this is so frustrating. Like old Office flaws, guys. Like I know. Oh, all right. Well, hold on. I mean, there is an infographic here. Let me see. I love how I'm like, ugh, old Office flaws. Get out of here. And then I'm like, well, yeah, there is an infographic here. All right. So spear phishing email comes in. So spear phishing would be very targeted. You get a 404 resource not found. So that's just basically not a web server. Some type of rich text file. So a text file comes in, and then you get you get a malicious piece of software that's running a exploit that attacks CVE 2017, an 8-year-old vulnerability. It installs some type of bot, sideloads a DLL, and boom, you're infected with an info stealer. All right. High-level government institutions in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan have been compromised by this. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm so not confused, but like I'm so perplexed that countries, like the federal government of other countries, would be so immature technically and so just under-resourced that they would be running software that is like end of life. Like, and I know the US has that stuff, but like the Ministry of Communications or like, like I understand if like some, Marine Corps forward operating base has something and they're running some piece of technology, like, this like specific thing. But when like the high ranking, like executive branch of a country like Sri Lanka is running something that would be compromised by this, it blows my mind. On top of that, they obviously don't have, email security gateways. They don't have EDR, like any run of the mill, enterprise grade security solution will catch this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I mean, I don't know if Sidewinder is identified as India-based cyber threat actor. Let me actually look at this really quickly. So I want to know where Sidewinder is. What I'm going to go do is go to MITRE ATT&CK. I'm going to go to the groups, and then I'm going to look up Sidewinder, which, by the way, what a cool name. There's Sidewinder. And here we go. We check it out. We get intel on Sidewinder. It's a suspected Indian threat actor group. So as expected, if you look at the map, and shout out to Justin Gold, basically everybody being attacked by Sidewinder in this story is on either side of India. So, it kind of it would suggest that that's who the threat actor is. Yep. And then just like everything else, the initial attack exploits an old vulnerability and then starts pulling down second stage payloads. The multiple stage payloads is definitely a common technique, right? Yeah, and then once you get this, you're screwed, right? Again, if you're running, I guess just be aware. Just because you're doing business with like a foreign government doesn't mean that their information security posture is secure. I get really biased. I have like bias on what the, like what minimum cybersecurity looks like, or what a minimum IT infrastructure looks like, or what's the worst thing you're going to see. This right here is way worse than what I would see. Also, if you happen to be, and this is a very specific, group of people I'm talking to, and they probably already know this, but if you happen to be like a cyber mercenary and you happen to be working in, the Pacific, South Pacific, these areas of the country, the Middle East, whatever, where these type of technologies are going to be accessible, be mindful that you can utilize these type of exploits because the attack surface is going to be available to you in this capacity. So I guess what I'm saying is you don't always need like a, next gen 0-day exploit or vulnerability, 0-day vulnerability with an exploit. Sometimes, the oldies but the goodies are still going to work. It's sad. Honestly, it's sad. But it is. I mean, it makes me think, guys, I'm reading a book right now called Careless People. I'm reading this book right now. Like I'm halfway through it. Careless People, right? And in the story, she literally just talked about having to go to Myanmar to talk to the president of Myanmar in the middle of like a revolution because they shut Facebook down. She worked at Facebook, and she had to convince him to open Facebook back up to the country. And she just talks about how backwards the country is. Like there's no internet service, no cell service. She went to the Ministry of Communication, and they like brought her in, sat her down, and they were like interfaced with a video recorder. She thought it was gonna be like like they were making one of these like kidnap murder type videos or something. So just crazy stuff.
What if your sales team could answer?
All right, Eric Taylor says listening to a book is not the same as reading it. That would be true. I am currently consuming a book. So I don't know.
Answer security questions themselves without blowing up your Slack or email every 10 minutes. With Conveyor,
yes, Myanmar.
Conveyor is the trust center and security questionnaire automation tool your InfoSec friends love to use. Whether through Slack or the Conveyor app, sales and pre-sales teams can easily get AI-generated answers.
Yes, I mean Myanmar. Myanmar. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
To any customer security question with your preset rules and reviews in place. Free up your team and keep deals moving at www.conveyor.com.
Yeah. I don't know. We can have an argument about reading a book versus listening to a book. I do enjoy reading, but for me personally, I can maximize my time by listening to audiobooks. I can listen to an audiobook while I run. I can listen to an audiobook while I drive. I can listen to an audiobook in the shower. So I can stack progress on multiple things by listening to an audiobook. Reading a book actually takes me away from, all right, hey, let's do this really quick. I want to say shout out and thank you to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Delete Me, Antisyphon, and ThreatLocker. Let's hear from ThreatLocker, and then we're going to do the hey, and all the good stuff, and it'll be good. All right, let's go. I want to give some love to the daily cyber threat brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do want to caveat, if I'm reading a technical book or I'm trying to learn a skill, I will read the book. I will have hard copy, read the book. I listen to fiction, or I listen to like memoirs, documentaries type stuff like that. If I'm trying to learn something, I have to read it. So I will caveat that. Guys, shout out to all of you. Thank you, Team SC. We've got 428 of you awesome people in chat right now, including Eric Taylor, disrupting the chat with his hot take on reading versus listening. Guys, I want to say thank you. For the sake of time, I'm going to speed run over to the la 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 segment. You guys all know the words, and then we're going to get right back into it. Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off. If you're getting value from the stream, I don't say it often, but hit that like button. More importantly, if you're getting value from the stream, please share it with other people. That's really how we grow the community. Also, if you didn't know, we are actually launching all sorts of new courses at Simply Cyber Academy, including Tyler Ramsby's giant AWS pen testing course. So if you're interested in learning cloud security pen testing from a guy who's been doing it for years, for like a ridiculous price, it's $20. It's like a full college course. Go check it out. It's sick, honestly. We've had over 1,000 people this week sign up for it. All right, guys, get ready. Lean back and get your la 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 la's on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alpha Sierra, let's go. Philip Martin, let's go. Divine Dream Divine, let's go. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Great work, everybody. We're halfway through. Let's finish strong, shall we?
SK Telecom says malware breach lasted 3 years, impacted 27 million numbers. South Korea's SK Telecom reported a nearly 3-year-long undetected malware breach beginning in June of 2022, which compromised sensitive SIM data of nearly 27 million customers, including authentication keys and contact information, elevating SIM swapping risks. The company is replacing SIMs, blocking unauthorized device changes, and accepting responsibility for resulting damages. Investigations identified 25 malware types on 23 different servers, but the full scope of data loss is uncertain due to limited early logging.
Oh my God. Dude, that sounds like one of those ones where it's like a meme where someone infected a computer with like 1,000 viruses and then took it to Geek Squad at Best Buy to get it repaired. Guys, we don't see this type. This is something you would see in like the late 2000s where you have like time to detect in the years. We've gotten much better at that. I do want to point out time to detect metric is kind of screwed up because ransomware, they will make you aware that they've infected you. So that skews the numbers quite a bit. So SK Telecom, a telecommunication provider, saying that 27 million people's SIMs have been screwed. This is South Korea now. Again, North Korea and or China could easily be the threat actor behind this attack, simply just based on who it is, South Korea, right? Let's see what they did. I mean, it's not good they got authentication keys. I don't know enough about USIM authentication keys, so I'm assuming that is how the SIM authenticates to the network, the cellular network. I don't know how. Here's the thing. Okay, hold on. I'll give you a deep cut in a second here. All right, so whatever, 25 data types. Holy crap, dude. This is insane. So check this out. This is a shit. This is a mess up. This is a mess, okay? So this telecom provider. They had 27 million customers at least, which means to me, this is a big boy, okay? This is a real company. SK Telecom annual revenue. I always use annual revenue to help quickly ascertain how big a company is. Okay, they made $12 billion in 2024, billion with a B. So this is definitely a big company. Listen to this. They found out they were compromised. A lot of sensitive data was taken down. I don't know how difficult it is to reset the authentication keys for the USIMs. That's a problem. It's bad enough that literally, look at this. This is impact you don't want to see. They stopped accepting new subscribers. So literally someone walks into an SK Telecom retail store, like walking into an AT&T store, and is like, here's my money. I would like a phone on your network. Take my money. And they're like, no. Like that's real impact.
Straight cash, homie.
Okay. Also, I just want to point out, like when you have authentication keys get compromised, whether it's PK, like certificates or it's credentials, you have to reset them all, which is a massive pain in the butt. Okay, go back and look at, I think it was China got Microsoft Golden Keys maybe a year ago, which was wicked bad because then they could have like accessed government systems and stuff like that. The recovery process of having authentication keys compromised is brutal and painful. There's also, like I've never had to do this myself. And if anyone in chat has had to do this, let me know or share your experience. But like when your Active Directory environment gets compromised, not like Kerber roasting, but like when the keys get compromised in such a way, and if all the creds in your AD domain get compromised, you have to reset all the credentials, which is super painful, but you have to do it twice because the first credential, when you reset it because of caching and user experience, that first credential, the one that is compromised, will still work as the cache credential. So you have to reset creds twice, which is really complicated to communicate to the business and the workforce. It's super full of friction for the entire business, and it's a super pain in the butt. So if you've ever had to do that, let us know in chat. Again, I've never had to do it myself in an environment, thank God, but it is brutal. So this SK Telecom, Kyle, SK Telecom, this sucks. Like, this could actually be a really great case study for you to kind of data mine from and use as a case study on how bad a malware breach can be for a business, okay? Now, because it's SK Telecom, I'm not everybody, but like, I've never heard of SK Telecom until this day. So if you go into a job interview and they're like, oh, how do you stay current? You're like, oh, daily cyber threat brief. And then they're like, well, let's go through a scenario. Like there's a malware infection detected and you get a call. Like, what do you think this is going to mean or what happens, right? If you mention this SK Telecom story, yes, it's relevant and germane to what they're asking, but the interviewers across the hall from you may not know SK Telecom. Like, you'd be more successful talking about the Coinbase data breach, because I feel like Coinbase is more ubiquitous with, like, the random person that you're going to get across the table from you. So just food for thought on this. Anyways, SK Telecom, I feel for you, buddy. I'm going to pour a little bit out for you. Do we have a sound effect for SK Telecom that would be good? I guess this is what SK Telecom's leadership is thinking about this threat actor.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Vulnerability exploitation probability metric proposed by NIST CISA researchers. NIST and CISA, you know them, NIST and CISA, have developed likely exploited vulnerabilities, also known as LEV, a new metric using mathematical equations to predict vulnerability exploitation.
Oh my God.
This complements KEV and EPSS to improve patching prioritization by identifying potential overlooked threats. NIST is currently seeking industry partners to evaluate LEV's real-world impacts.
Holy crap.
Krebs on security.
I'm not going to say that we were involved with this in any way, but if you're not paying attention, basically, CVSS scoring, you know how we've been dunking on it? Like basically whenever there's a vulnerability, we immediately go to EPSS because there's more value to us as practitioners. Well, somebody, Santa got my letter, and now they're introducing a metric on likely exploited vulnerability equations to help introduce a more EPSS-based remediation prioritization. Oh my goodness. Be still, my heart. You know what? Hey, if you're not evolving, if you're not trying to improve at least 1% a day, you might as well shut it down. So this is cool, man. This is super cool. This new score can be used for measuring the expected number and proportion of vulnerabilities that threat actors have exploited. LEV aims to enhance, not replace, lists and EPSS. Okay, so they're not coming for your EPSS. They're just coming to enhance it. When an EPS score is available for a specified vulnerability, the date of the most recent KV list update, inclusion KV. Gosh, I got to tell you, Brandon Poole, you started a movement. I'll just go ahead and brush a little off the shoulder. Way to go, Team SC. I feel like we willed this into existence. This is so cool, man.
Hit with near record 6.3 terabit per second DDoS. Krebs on Security reports it was hit by a 6.3 terabit per second DDoS attack on May 12th, likely a test of the Asuru Internet of Things botnet. The attack lasted less than a minute, but was clocked as the largest ever mitigated by Google's Project Shield. Asuro has been linked to a known figure named Forky, compromising hijacked IoT devices using zero-day exploits. Forky denies involvement in the attack, now claiming to focus on their hosting business, BotShield. Mobile carrier.
Was that business called Porky? Okay, so check it out. Here's a couple things. One, this attack lasted 45 seconds. So if you went to the bathroom or you went to grab a cup of coffee, you missed it. Now, here's what I suspect here. Number one, this was a demonstration of a capability for a denial of service. Okay. Number two, Krebs on Security was deliberately targeted exclusive. This is a hot take, okay? You're not going to read this anywhere, but I'm going to go ahead and drop it. Hot take. And you first timers, Cha Boy Louie, anytime I do a hot take, I use the tinfoil hat emote. Yeah, exactly. So Roswell UK is sharing that this botnet's been spotted for rent on Telegram channels. Okay, so here's the deal. This was literally a marketing. This was marketing for this threat actor. The reason Krebs on Security was chosen is literally this reason right here. If they attacked simplycyber.io and knocked it offline for a minute, if they attacked, whizbangfubar.top, it would not have made the news. No one would give a crap. If they hit Krebs on Security, it will make the news. Krebs on Security, is it David Krebs? I feel like it's David Krebs. He's like a long-time cybersecurity journalist, reporter. He's been around forever. He writes some good stuff. In the last 5 years, I haven't really been super into his content. Not for any particular reason. It's just I used to read it a lot more, and now I don't. But he's kind of I don't know. It's like seminal. You know what I mean? So I think he was targeted deliberately for marketing purposes. It only lasted 45 seconds, which is not very big impact. And that's all there is to it. So just know that there is defensive capabilities. Google Project Shield was able to do something with this. So Project Shield is a free denial of service that Google provides to websites offering news, human rights, and election-related content. Interesting. So, hey, listen, actually, this is probably a really great thing. If you are running a website that offers news, human rights, or election-related content, and you are responsible for the cybersecurity of it, definitely check out this Project Shield because it's free and it's from Google, which means, it's probably pretty legit. And it was able to protect from the largest denial of service attack recorded. Okay, so this is great. If you fall into any of these, definitely jump right on that. Okay.
Telecom confirms cyber attack behind extended outages. Telecom, a Wisconsin-based mobile carrier, confirmed a cyber attack was behind the widespread outages that began on May 14th, disrupting voice and SMS services across Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. The company initially described this as a technical issue, but later acknowledged the cyber incident, stating that sensitive customer data was not impacted. Telecom is working with the FBI and cybersecurity experts to restore service, which it aims to complete by the end of the week.
All right, really quickly, Fabrizio passed Net Plus yesterday. Congratulations. Secondly, there was a question in here from Slim Daddy about would a proxy and a blacklist reduce or eliminate the Krebs denial of service attack? No. I mean, a proxy might be. The blacklist, no, because it's just a bunch of random compromised assets on the internet. So you can't, I guess if you'd almost have to have a whitelist, right? Or an approved only list of known IP addresses that are allowed to communicate and then drop everything else. But that's not really practical for a website because you want, any traffic to get there. So, no. All right. Mobile carrier Telecom confirms cyber attack behind extended outages. Okay. So today, I guess, dude, SK Telecom and this Wisconsin wireless provider Telecom, it's very hot right now. Attacking telecommunication services is hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Also, shout out, we have 404 people live with us right now, so 404 if you're into that. Let's see. So basically, service was disrupted. Why was it disrupted? Okay. Well, I mean, okay. This is cool. So this company had a business continuity plan. They suffered a cyber attack. They started executing the plan. This is good, right? This is what you're supposed to do. Listen, when you get hit, this is just real talk. When you get hit with a cyber attack, you can have a plan and you can execute on it, but that doesn't mean that you have no impact, okay? It just means that you might be able to quarantine faster, recover faster, respond faster. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen, okay? The left of boom, your protection parts, your controls, that helps prevent it from happening. The right of boom is helping mitigate the impact and the time to recover. I don't know if this is the right move. So they initially claimed that the disruption was a technical issue, and then it turned out to be a cyber attack. I don't know. I feel like this right here is phones are down, messaging is down, and leadership is screaming at the engineers what the is going on, and they just immediately say oh, it's a technical issue. We'll get to it, just to kind of shut leadership up or pacify them for a minute. So I don't think this was, honestly, having been in the trenches before, I don't think this was a deliberate false flag that they provided. I think that this is one of those situations where you're sitting on an active burner that leadership is turning to high, and you're just trying to give them something to get the hell out of your way. All right. there isn't a lot of information in here about, what exactly they could do or what exactly happened or why they were compromised, but it says a ransomware attack. Oh, they were asked if it was a ransomware attack. They didn't respond. All right. Oh, wow, this is cool. So even...
Hi, everyone. This is Bridget.
Here's another move. This is a really interesting thing. So the Wisconsin-based Telecom provider actually released a video of their CEO, not overproduced, and basically providing a transparency update on what happened, what they can expect, what they've been doing. Not every business is going to do this, but personally, I like this. I would argue you might want to capture this story, capture this video, and just provide it as a tool in the toolbox that you can do on handling incident response. Guys, I know, we talk about all the technical details and the IOCs and fileless malware and all these other things. Yes, response is very technical. However, you're helping a business recover from a cyber attack. So there are non-technical, non-cyber, non-IT elements that have to be done as part of managing the crisis of an active incident. This is one tool in the toolbox, and it's one that I like. If you guys know me for a minute, I know some of you are first-timers, but I'm very big on transparency. I'm very big on communication. This is awesome, right? So another tool in the toolbox. Like literally, people couldn't use their phone. Customers who are paying money have questions and want answers. This is one way to communicate at scale. And frankly, I like how authentic this looks. This is very Wisconsin to me. Very like Minnesota, Wisconsin, like, just clear talk, man. Let's go.
Van Helsing ransomware builder leaked on Hacking Forum. The source code of the Van Helsing ransomware group was leaked after a failed sale by a former developer. The group then released parts of the code themselves, including the Windows encryptor builder and affiliate panel, but not the full Linux builder or databases. Despite being incomplete, the leak could enable copycat attacks, similar to past incidents involving Babuk, Conti, and Lockbit. I'm Sarah Lane reporting.
All right, well, this sucks. Really quick, Van Helsing ransomware, I guess the threat actors behind it decided to close up shop. They tried to sell their assets, right? This is like a fire sale. When you've got some stuff you're going to sell. Like you're a friggin', you're a Baskin Robbins franchise and you're shutting it down. So you're trying to sell your ice cream scoops. You're trying to sell your little cooler. You're trying to sell your register, like whatever. They're trying to sell their crap. No one wanted to buy it. So in some weird decision, they decided to just release the source code out there. So now people, you could see copycat attacks, whatever. You still should be protecting from it, period, full stop. If you want to see an instance where releasing source code turned out to be a nightmare, I invite you to Google Mirai botnet code leak. Mirai botnet code leak. This happened in 2014, 2015. And these three college kids, I think they went to jail eventually out of Rutgers. The FBI was hot on their heels because they thought they were a nation-state threat. So they released their source code, their Mirai code, onto GitHub. And years later, it's still a problem. In fact, check this out. Krebs on security. This story that we literally just talked about a few minutes ago. Is talking about Mirai IoT botnet just right here. So like it's that seminal, it's that common. Mirai botnet is definitely something you could whip out in a job interview and everybody in the room would know what's up. If you have some questions, I see Slim Daddy's got them. Save them for a minute when we pivot over to jaw jacking. We are at time though. All right, guys. Hey, don't go anywhere. Save your questions. Thank you, Justin Gold. All right, guys, stay tuned. We're going to be doing jaw jacking. It's a 30-minute mentoring at scale AMA. I can't do one-on-one mentoring, but I can do this, and I can answer as many questions as I can. I hope you got value from the show. This is Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief, episode 882. It's May 21st. It's a Wednesday. You guys are awesome. I'm super glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Yeah. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. Hey. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to Jawjacking. I'm your host, Jerry Guy. Many of you might be coming from the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, that podcast hosted by that nerd. Oh, nerd. Bro, keep it in your pants about the NIST releasing an EPSS complementary scoring mechanism. Jeepers creepers, this guy with his love for the GRC. But for real, thanks to the mods, Justin Be Well, Jenny Housley, thanks for all you do. Eric Taylor disrupting chat. Casually Joseph when he wakes up. Jesse Johnson, as always. All the mods, guys. Kimberly can fix it. This is a 30-minute AMA show. You ask questions, I give answers. I may not have all the questions, but when I do not have them, I will tell you there's a high probability that chat will. It's all about good times. Let's rip the top off this baby and let's go. Also, a reminder at 9:30, bottom of the hour, 2 cyber chicks, Erica McDuffie and Jack Scott, are going to be bringing the heat. So stay tuned for that. We're going to raid that together. Triple D knows the nerds. All right, let's get these questions going. I'm going to look in chat and I'm going to pin them. Put a Q in the front of it if you can. I see a couple mod chats really quickly here. Kunal Joshi says, I'm a mechanical engineer at Maruti Suzuki Car Manufacturing. I've been learning cyber since last year. Can I break through into this industry? Yeah, of course. I will tell you really quick. You can break through, okay? Depends what job you want to do. I will tell you, it's not easy, right? It does take a lot of work, a lot of conviction. I'm not trying to gate you. I'm just telling you the reality of it. If you're doing, mechanical engineer is not easy, so you already know hard work. Do the fundamentals, guy. Guys, the plan to break in is very simple. Executing on it is very hard. You've got to get foundational IT experience. You've got to get labs and practical skills in cybersecurity. You need to network within cybersecurity with other people. You need to develop some type of portfolio or personal brand that demonstrates the practical skills that you're developing. And there you go. I can tell you for a fact, okay? For a fact, there are front doors you can walk through. But I can tell you for a fact, just this week, I can't name names, okay? But somebody in my circle got a random message from a recruiter who's like, hey, I just talked to somebody who recommended you for a job. And the person fact-checked this. It was, in fact, a legit thing. And basically, through a friend of a friend, somebody said this person's name in a room when they were not there, okay? And they went and interviewed for the job. And I think it could work out. So just do those things. You can do it. All right. I saw Sean Washington said, when was I at MUSC? My mom used to teach there back in 2004. I was at MUSC. I'd have to go back and look at my LinkedIn profile, which I know sounds ridiculous, but I want to say I was there from 2015 to 2019 or 2020. 2016 to 2020, roughly, right around those times. I was there when the pandemic hit, because I remember we had just moved into a new office, and then we quickly moved to remote work, and I was remote for maybe 6 months and then quit. So like late 2020, early 2021, I think is when I left. The Tony Mastro says, in your opinion, what's the best threat defense for mobile? So, I mean, I personally run like the Windows Defender app, right? Like mobile app. But I mean, I pay for like M365 and all the, Defender for endpoint type stuff. So, I don't know. I also, honestly, Tony Mastro, another thing I do is I have my phone's DNS servers set to, I believe it's Cloudflare's safe ones. Yeah. So check this out. Here's another thing that I do. So you can set your DNS resolution servers to 113 and 1112. So no malware, no adult content. So, whatever. Spoiler alert. I'm not into porn. So I just have my DNS resolution set to these, to this 1113 and then the secondary DNS that maps to it. Again, this just helps protect me from accidentally visiting malicious sites that I've phished or text message to. So those are two threat defenses that I have. Also, I keep my phone. I use a Apple iPhone, so I have my phone set to auto update, auto patch. Okay, I mean I'm not really doing anything super next gen or anything, but what the heck? Fantexisma 876 says, if you were 4 years into security, hands-on with SIM and SecOps, aiming for a FANG role, what would you focus on next? Oh boy. Detection engineering. I would get I would become, two things I would do. Number one, I would get into detection engineering. I would actually go take, I would study Hayden Covington. I'm actually taking Hayden Covington's detection engineering class. Hold on one second. I'm going to give you a playbook right now. It's not just skills, by the way. It's not just skills, all right? Look at this guy. This guy came on. I love this guy. Okay? I'm taking this, who is it? Fantexma 876. This guy right here, Hayden Covington, is a special dude. I think he's like 26. He's got the brain of like a 900-year-old who's worked in SecOps for 1,000 years. Like, dude, this guy's got deep knowledge. I'm taking this workshop. Dude, you can pay $0. You can't pay more than $150. I think I signed up for $25. You do you. It doesn't matter. This is July 17th. And it's going to be Detection Engineering Crash Course. Great introduction. Now, what I would tell you, Fantexma, is if you want to go work for a FANG company, get into detection engineering and then get a very public persona, right? Engage, share, have a personal brand. Then I would actually start speaking at conferences and I would start engaging with people that work at FANG companies. Network. I'm not saying be disingenuous and worm your way in. I'm saying get on the radar of these people. And I'm telling you, detection engineering is hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
All right. So that's the playbook for getting that job. Phil Stafford said he needs better friends. I think that's a shot at you, Elliot Matisse. All right. King Victor B says, hi, Jerry. Do you know any good practices, security plus exam papers? I do not know any of those. What I would say is, oh my gosh. If you're going to study Security Plus and you absolutely want to crush it, what I recommend is this. This right here, Jesse Johnson, every Saturday, 4 p.m. He has access to the official Security Plus platform that CompTIA releases. It's like this engine that makes questions and stuff. They go through it. These streams are awesome. Jesse is awesome. dude, the guy is a friggin', he's a hero that doesn't wear a cape. Look at this guy right here, Jesse Johnson, the Cosmic Cowboy. So you can see here, look at this. This is what they're doing. He looks at Security Plus, he asks questions. There's a live community there. So talk about networking, advocacy, supporting people's wins right here. So this is what I would recommend. Instead of reading a paper, King Victor B, I would look at this community. I'm going to go ahead and share that. I don't even know how to share this. I'm going to share this with you. King Victor B. All right. Next. All right. Wisconsin's in the house. Let's go, Wisconsin. All right. All right. Continuing to look at chat. Kunal says he's getting rejections because he doesn't have any certs. All right. I mean, Security Plus is kind of the HR gate cert, so I would target that one for sure. Bustin Justin says, why is it so hard to turn off Defender for malware analysis? LOL, that's funny. I don't know. We just read a story yesterday about a tool that shuts it off. Yes, Triple D. I suspect that would be blocked by the DNS 1113. Just because I know about the red lights district, Roswell, UK, doesn't mean that I'm a frequent flyer over there. I don't have like one of those like the things you attach to your keychain at the grocery store where you like scan it first. Tech Grunt. Actually, hey, really quickly, funny story about the red light district. It's John Strand's story, but like John Strand took a family vacation to the Netherlands and didn't know, like, for some reason, I forget the exact reason, but like his hotel was in the red light district with his family. Kind of hilarious. Tech Grunt says, have you heard that TryHackMe's coming out with the pen testing exam? A junior one. Would you what's your take? Is it? I can't comment on this yet, Tech Grunt, because I don't know it. I haven't seen it. I'll tell you two things. One, I like TryHackMe. I've done work with TryHackMe. I think they're a legit cyber education platform. And I think that what they teach students is practical and valuable. Now, I don't know take care, Jenny Housley. I don't know anything about this particular cert, but I would give them the benefit of the doubt that it's good. Second of all, remember, with any cert, the value is in like what the market wants, right? So you could have the coolest, hardest cert ever made. I could make a GRC cert that's impossible to pass, right? But if the market isn't asking for it, then it doesn't really have any value. So because it's a new cert, it wouldn't have permeated market yet. So it's difficult to determine the value of it. But you know, on balance, I think it would be good. What was the name of the guy? Oh, Hayden Covington. Here, I'll just drop a link to that training. You can see his name right here. Hayden Covington. Here, I'm dropping a link to the training. I met this guy at DakotaCon just a few months ago for the first time, and I was thoroughly impressed by him. He actually gave a talk on detection engineering. Look at this. Hold on. I might even be able to do this. If you want to get a little taste of some Hayden Covington in your life. Hold on one second. Oh, look, there I am. This is me. And then Mike Saunders, who I love from Red Siege. And then right here, Hayden Covington did a video. Hold on one second. DakotaCon. I went to Dakota State University, so it's very, very special to me. Here's the track 1 video. You can actually, if you want, you could watch my talk. Documenting the right here, where I did a Game of Thrones talk. All right, this guy. Right, I love it. But here's the Hayden Covington one. Enough pumping my own tires up in here. There's Mike Saunders. Here it is. Oh my gosh. So this is Hayden Covington's talk. This is like a 1 hour talk. Very, very interesting. It's like detection engineering at like a high level. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Basically, it starts a little bit before this, but you get the idea. Hayden Covington talk. All right. Let's go. What else we got in chat? I'm here to answer your questions. We're doing AMA right now, so if you're just joined us and you want to know what the hell is going on, I'm here to answer your questions. Let's go. Hayden Covington was that guy's name. Cyber Risk, which says she wants to thank everybody here. Oh, cool. Cyber Risk, which drop your blog in chat. Or tell me what to Google to pull it up. I don't know if anyone can drop links but me and the mods, but Valentino, I know you're being playfully humorous, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you need to build a personal brand. I forget to tell people this, but just if you didn't know, June 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, so like 2 weeks from now, I'm running a course. Literally, I'm running a course on how to build a personal brand. Basically, all the things that I did and how to do it, and how to find content you want to make that people also want to consume, how to like establish yourself, how to do the networking and deliver value into a network piece. I'm doing that. If you go to simplycyber.io/PBCC, Papa Bravo Charlie, you can check that out. Next question was Mr. Linko. When applying for jobs as a GRC analyst, should I provide a cover letter for each job? Does it matter? Does it help? So I know there's a lot of arguments around this. Let me start a poll in chat. All right, include a cover letter. Here is my hot take on this one. If you are emailing a specific person, sure, a cover letter can help. If you're applying through like a portal, no, I wouldn't add a cover letter. Okay, just there's so many resumes people are reviewing that like the cover letter is fine, but I don't think it's a game changer one way or the other. If you are emailing like someone specifically, like let's say like someone messages you and they're like, hey, we'd like to invite you to apply to this job because we heard about you or whatever, then yeah, like a cover letter is nice. It's like a touch of class. But when you're just like, going through like a mass hiring thing, it's not going to make a difference. What are the 2 best articles from this week that can be mentioned at a job interview? Okay, let's play that game. Give me a second. I'm going to go to CISA series. What's today? The 21st, so 19, 20. Here, let me quickly go through this really quick. Okay, we'll do this live on stream right now. Okay, so this deepfake one's by the FBI would probably be pretty good. So there's an uptake on deepfake. This story is interesting because, one, everybody knows about deepfakes. It's a developing threat. It's very sexy, so like it's in the news. The people interviewing you should know about it. And you can talk about some of the defensive mechanisms that are in place that are not working. Because this is the U.S. government increasing awareness, it is a national threat. Now, most of this attack is happening in Ukraine and Ukrainian government officials getting targeted, but you can see it easily get related to for-profit U.S.-based businesses. There's been an example in Hong Kong early last year where someone got taken for $25 million through a deepfake attack. So this has like got a lot of this has got a lot of nuances and dimension to it, especially if you include somehow include like a phishing attack as part of the initial attack vector. What else? Give me a second. I like, you know, usually it's like, oh, give me an example of something. Let's see what else we got. 23andMe, no. Bipartisan, no. 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 So this one's like okay, kind of. This one's okay, kind of. This one's about, we covered this one yesterday. This is about like printer firmware that had been compromised with a Trojan asset, and it took years for them to discover. You could just talk about, you know, how does malware get into the environment? Yeah, like you could be malicious links and emails and USB drives and stuff like that. But also, it could just be a supply chain attack, as we saw with this one right here. People were installing malware, Trojanized malware, thinking they were updating printer software. Now, you could even spin it and be like, you know, people trusted this one. So from a supply chain attack perspective, we got to be vigilant. We got, you know, EDR around. We can't put EDR on printers, right? So, you know, you got to be looking at attacks at the network layer as well as the endpoint layer. So those are kind of two examples that just come to mind right away. We got the poll right here. Cover letter. Looks like the community split 50-50. So there you go on the cover letter. All right, Jesse Johnson's getting some love. Tech Grunts shouting him out. Oh, yeah, Nathan Blair, 100%. Professor Messer is a phenomenal Security Plus resource. Professor Messer, 100%. Zach Sullivan says, as someone new breaking into the industry, what are some cert skills you need before applying for any position? All right. You need to understand how networks talk to each other, so networking. You need to understand fundamental operating system concepts. It would be useful to understand a little bit about cloud and why it's a different paradigm than on-prem infrastructure. It depends what kind of job you want to get, but obviously understanding some foundational concepts around cybersecurity, CIA triad, cyber kill chain, MITRE ATT&CK framework, those things would be useful. Zach Sullivan. What I would recommend here, Zach, and I do make this available for absolutely free, literally to answer that question you're asking, because I get asked that question a million times a day. I've created this course. This course is free, Zach. Free. $0. Here's the thing, everybody, including Zach. I can't mentor one-on-one. I just don't have the time, okay? But what I love to do is help people. So if I can create content, package it up, and provide it to people, it's like I'm mentoring one-on-one, but I'm decoupled from the time commitment. This class right here is awesome. This is a complete resource for people looking to break into cybersecurity. It will give you, are you ready for it? IT and networking basics, operating systems, SOC, web app sec, GRC, awareness best practices, who to follow on YouTube, who to watch on LinkedIn, what blogs are awesome. This is basically a starter kit for you. This is the link, Zach Sullivan. And for anybody that this applies to, this is a free course. Please. Because here's the deal. Here's the reality. A lot of times people will say, oh, go check this out. Go check that out. But then they don't explain what you're supposed to get from it or why you're checking it out or how to look at it. That's what my course does. Go check it out. All right, really quickly, we're almost at time. Going to go raid 2 cyber chicks. I'm going to try to speed run questions as long as I can here. Pwn Labs. I don't know much about Pwn Labs, but I'm sure they're cool. I don't know. If anyone has thoughts about Pwn Labs, go get it. Professor Roger. I love Professor Roger. I met him in San Francisco. Cool dude. Security Plus study. Go check him out. Professor Roger White. I'm looking for questions. Jonathan says, internship or help desk, good way to break in. It is a great way to break in. It's not the only way, but sure, it's definitely a great way to break in. All right. Let's see. When applying for a job at GRC, should I provide a cover letter? Oh, we already answered that. And we did a poll. Jerry, what's the most interesting audit you've performed? What was your most complicated audit you ever performed? Ooh, that's a good question. So most interesting audit I performed, I mean, I audited a fire safety system at the South Pole. That was kind of cool. South Pole, Antarctica. That was interesting. I also, as far as complicated goes, I mean, I've assessed I've audited a Marine Corps forward operating base drone system that had the drone and then like an operator system that deploys into like real-time deployment. That was really complicated. So great question, fun stuff. All right, so let's go raid 2 cyber chicks right now. 2 cyber chicks. Let's go raid that. All right. Valentino, it is hard for people to establish themselves with all the noise. Exactly, which is why I try to help people cut through the noise and stand out. All right, guys, let's go. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you for everything you guys do. Until next time.